Hello, and welcome to the Mass Homegrowers Community Outreach Meeting. My name is Sean Moore. What I intend to do during this meeting is to introduce myself and who our organization is, and to give a little bit of information on what we intend to do here in the town of Rutland. So you may ask, who is Sean Moore and Mass Homegrowers? I am a first generation Massachusetts recreational cannabinepreneur, which means that it's someone who is in the cannabis business. I have been a Rutland, Massachusetts resident for over 12 years. I am very active in the Rutland community, volunteering on many town boards as well as being elected to the planning board. I also volunteer for my kids' schools and have been a volunteer for both the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. I am a graduate of Worcester State College with a bachelor's degree in psychology, concentrating in general mental health and developmental disabilities. I have advanced certificates in alcohol addiction and substance abuse, and I was a licensed cannabis caregiver for 3 years. My two business partners are Joe Delaquilla and Leroy Skip Clark. Both are longtime Rutland residents. Both have been very active in their community, volunteering, and many services for their town. I am the owner and president of Mass Home Growers. We intend to open up a marijuana cultivation facility in the town of Rutland. So, what is a marijuana cultivator? According to 935 CMR 500, adult use of marijuana, which is the regulations and law in the state of Massachusetts, a marijuana cultivator is an entity licensed to cultivate, process, and package marijuana and transfer marijuana to other marijuana establishments such as retailers and manufacturers, but not directly to consumers. Cultivators could be licensed to have different size tiers or grows, also known as canopies. So, what is a canopy? According to 935 CMR 500, adult use of marijuana, a canopy is an area to be calculated in square foot and measured using clearly identifiable boundaries of all areas that will contain mature plants at any point in time, including all the spaces within the boundaries. Canopy may be non-contiguous, but each unique area included in the total canopy calculations shall be separated by identifiable boundary, which includes but not limited to interior walls, shelves, greenhouse walls, hoop house walls, garden benches, hedgerows, fencing, garden beds, or garden plots. If mature plants are being cultivated using a shelving system, the surface area of each level shall be included in the total canopy calculation. Mass Home Growers intends to have a Tier 2 or a 10,000 square foot canopy. We will be located at 199 Glenwood Road in Rutland, Massachusetts. The Cannabis Control Commission has very strict, rigid security guidelines and requirements that would take too long to go over here. For public convenience, the CCC webpage has a complete download of the rules and regulations regarding security. We at Mass Home Growers want to assure our community that we will follow all regulations to the fullest. Some examples of security measures we will use would be regulation fencing, digital and handheld key locks, as well as video cameras and alarms that are Rutland Police notified, employee badges, uniforms, and on-site security persons. We intend on complying with every rule that the Cannabis Control Commission has set forth before us so we can provide a safe environment for not only our employees but our members in our community as well. That being said, if any questions I'd like to answer if anybody has any.
There is no one else
No one
online.
else, right.
Have you submitted a security plan to the police chief yet?
No, all that will come after the special permitting process.
After the special
After
permit.
Right now, we are still pretty far away from actually obtaining the license.
Oh,
Um, yes, the community outreach is just one step in a multi-step time frame that you have to complete. After this, though, it will be after we do the community outreach, we have to uh, do our diverse area action plan, which shows how we're going to impact areas in Massachusetts that have been affected by the war on drugs. Pretty much is how we're going to help charities other than the ones that are in our town. Uh, I think we have, I think, 5 more steps to go before we can receive our preliminary license. And then that just allows us to start everything from scratch pretty much again. So it's it's a pretty thorough process. A lot of hoops to go through, a lot of um, just a lot of regulations you have to follow. Um, it's pretty intense. Cost wise, the licensing isn't that much, but as with any business, it's getting it off the ground. It's what it's going to cost. Um, and a 10,000 square feet is under an acre of marijuana, so our operation would be pretty small. The highest tier goes up to 100,000 square feet,
right.
and there's already quite a few in
So
Massachusetts.
the 10,000 square feet is approaching 2 acres of land. So why would there be less than an acre of marijuana?
Well, it's um, just the amount of canopy that goes on. So 10,000 square feet is 2 acres. I was told it's almost an acre.
It's 5,000-ish square feet is an acre. It's a little
Okay.
more than 5,000 square
Okay, so
feet.
it'd be 2 acres land then. Well, you got to think you're only allowed. You can't like grow. I mean the plant. It's so many plants per area that you can put into a spot. So it's not like you can double up on plants. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there
So
certainly
what
is.
can-
I mean, there are limits to how close you can
Yeah.
put them together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not
So I guess I was wrong. It's two. It'd be almost 2 acres.
hour and a half. I mean, an acre and a half to
Yeah.
between an acre and a half and 2. It's in that range. Um, how are there measures planned to prevent the spread of cannabis outside your fenced area?
Yeah, because we'll only be using female plants. So male plant marijuana has 2 distinct plants, a male and a female. Um, the female has the buds that people smoke. The male has these little tiny bell-like flowers which contain pollen. Um, the idea is you want plants that aren't impregnated in order not to have seeds. So you use straight female plants, and most of the plants are clones because that's the fastest way to propagate. So unless someone else has marijuana in the area that has a lot of male plants, which probably wouldn't be a licensed grower because male plants are pretty much useless besides for impregnating female plants. Um, it won't it won't spread. And our intent is to start off with an outdoor grow and then go indoor after like the first season, kind of build up.
Right. Well, I mean, you can't do year-round outside grow.
Yeah, no, not in this state. So
So if everything went really well, when will you be ready to apply for the special permit?
well, we're hoping to finish up with the licensing process by spring. So hopefully by summer we can start with the special permit.
And how
And then-
long after you apply for the special permit? Again,
after-
you can't really know how long it takes
Yeah.
because we haven't done it in this town yet. But
Well, the host agreement, and hopefully it works out ideally. After we get our preliminary license, we have 18 months to be up and running for our final inspection.
Okay.
It's a year and a half. That's if everything,
Right, assuming that nothing
yeah,
really bad happens.
yeah. And where the regulations are going now, I mean, who knows? It's if the laws will change once, if the federal government deems it legal. Who knows how that's going to affect it for the commercial industry.
Right.
Right now, an individual home can have up to 12 plants, 6 plants per adult for 2 adults. And with those plants, which you can get a lot of weed with 12 plants.
For marijuana, is an adult 18 or 21?
21. But you can't. An individual can't sell it.
Right.
But he can't give it away. So if you get a whole bunch of people out there that want to just give away the weed, it depends on. Yeah, it's so much changing right now. They're thinking about implementing deliveries, home deliveries, which a lot of states already have. There's both pros and cons with that, because it could eliminate the need for brick and mortar stores, and just people can just do online sales. But the regulations are so strict on transporting it, and you even have to have a manifest if you transport it from different parts of the property. So it's more regulated than pharmaceutical drugs. Nobody yet. Well, I mean, I do want to give some time.
Because you're allowed to transport as a cultivator, is there a specific transportation plan that needs to be vetted as well? Okay.
Yeah. A manifest has to be submitted to the Cannabis Control Commission. They have their own. It's called CR, the Cannabis Regulation Tagging System, certs, I think. Everything's barcoded from seed to sale, and then any. I mean, they were telling us. I went and did the seminar down in Worcester State. Every turn that you make going from point A to point B has to be documented that you're going to follow that map route, and you're not allowed to deviate from that route. I don't know.
There has to be some provision to deviate because.
Well, I imagine if
the police close a road.
Yeah.
There's you have no choice but to deviate.
But it was an eye opener that how I mean it's a regulated substance.
So it's the cultivator that's responsible for the transportation to its next stop.
Yes. Well, no, because a retailer can pick up. Like he can.
So he could be the transporter instead.
He could be the transporter instead. Yeah, a cultivator can only get to 3 places: a laboratory institution that will test it for you, or a retailer or a manufacturer. So a retailer who will sell it straight out, or a manufacturer. Cultivator is allowed to process it. That would be extracting it, the cannabinoids, the medicine part of it. But they're not allowed to make anything with it. You'll just have the extraction material and extracted material, which is call fully extraction cannabis oil. And that's really the part that you want. The rest of the plant is just wood, And for those, like, I don't smoke it personally because I have asthma. Um, it's you're smoking wood. It's like sitting next to a campfire, so it's really not healthy to smoke it. Um, although I'm not FDA, I can't say whether that's healthy or not. There's a lot of people that tell me otherwise. But the part that affects you are these little tiny sap pustules that grow on the plant. And that's, although like I said, there's a lot of people that will differ, say differently that the whole plant has medicinal properties and yada yada yada. I guess if anybody's interested, I could tell a little bit about what we are the community agreements going to be doing for the town of Rutland.
Sure.
On top, the state says we'll tax, that towns are allowed to tax at 3% on top of whatever the state says.
But that's retail.
That's retail, yeah. Well, I think that's everything. So like if I sell it wholesale, I still have to get 3%, at least in my host agreement, I'm still giving 3%
Okay.
on top. And then what I asked to do, instead of doing a community impact fee for the town of Rutland, I wanted to give a percentage. That way, if we do better, the town will do better.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, if we do worse, the town would do worse as well. But as far as all donations to, and I'm hoping that we do well. But all our donations that we have going to the town's nonprofits, instead of a set fee or a set amount, I wanted to give them a percentage. That way, like I said, it'll increase, which I think that's.
Have you selected the local charities?
I wanted to check out and see if schools were nonprofit, if schools could be a charity. When we talked about the food bank here, that's one in town. I know Devereaux's nonprofit. I don't know what else is in Rutland.
Sweet Pea, maybe.
Sweet Pea,
I don't
yes.
know. I can only
Yeah.
guess.
But I wanted to see if given to the schools, to the school district, would be allowed also. I know right now we can't sponsor like sporting events
Mhm.
or anything like that, which and I think the Rutland Little League would be nonprofit.
They certainly are.
So we can't have like any type of advertisement up. Well, I'm hoping,
Well, yeah. In fact, there's Rutland baseball. There's Rutland soccer. I don't know if they're under a common Rutland Youth Sports umbrella or not. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Basketball. But again, I don't know which of those are actually nonprofits. I know for sure that baseball is, and I'm very sure that soccer is, but not certain. So you can check that out.
I mean, anybody is also interested in our host agreement. It is under public knowledge of the town hall. You can get a copy of it, which will tell you everything that's in it. I mean, it's 16 pages long, so it's pretty thorough on what we hope to do for the town of Rutland. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get into it, was to help benefit the town financially. Still nobody? Well, I'm 20 minutes in. That's more than some of the ones that I've been researching. So I guess we'll go ahead and call it. Thank you for watching, if you watch us on Local Access, and thank you to Cable Guy Peter.